Tonight, homes destroyed, lives lost, cities on fire. Russia unleashes a massive new assault on Ukraine. Now, growing pressure on President Trump to respond as tensions erupt from Eastern Europe to the Middle East.
Plus, as global threats evolve, the U.S. is in a race to innovate. How America is preparing for the wars of tomorrow, one drone at a time.
What Rapid Flight is doing is really disrupting the way drones are designed and deployed to meet the new types of missions.
And Trump's big, beautiful bill hangs in the balance, where Senate Republicans are split on the math. Can they unite before time runs out?
Plus, a young man battling terminal brain cancer on a mission to become America's top cop. How he's turning pain into purpose, one badge at a time.
As long as he opens his eyes, he's got another heartbeat, his feet touch the ground, and nothing that you ain't gonna be able to accomplish.
All this and more tonight on Faith Nation.
Global flashpoints and growing pressure. Good evening and welcome to Faith Nation. I'm John Jessup.
And in Washington, I'm Jenna Browder. The Trump administration is busy on several international fronts, from nuclear talks with Iran to the ongoing conflicts in Gaza and Ukraine. Here to dissect it all, CBN News senior White House correspondent Kelly Wright and CBN News contributing correspondent Chuck Holton. Gentlemen, welcome.
It's great to have both of you. Starting with Ukraine, the president responded to a massive weekend drone and missile strike from Russia with some of his harshest criticism yet, posting on Truth Social saying that Putin is, quote, playing with fire and that he's gone crazy. The Kremlin responding by saying Trump's suffering from emotional overload. Chuck, are we potentially reaching a tipping point between Presidents Putin and Trump?
Well, I suppose that depends on what you mean by tipping point, or which direction it's tipping. But I think you can safely say that the bromance is over between President Trump and Putin. Either Putin is not on social media or he just doesn't care, because about an hour after President Trump made that post on Truth Social, the entirety of Ukraine is under drone and missile attack now once again. And so it's obvious that President Putin has just been playing with President Trump. Right now, we're at a point where it's more about ego management than it is about diplomacy, I think. And it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out, because there's a lot of people in the U.S. government now on the Republican side who are calling for increased sanctions and things like that.
Yeah, and Kelly, that includes lawmakers. Bipartisan support for increased sanctions against Russia from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. If Trump, say he forgoes those sanctions, could it create a rift within the GOP? How do you see that playing out?
Well, it could, but what we're seeing right now is the President of the United States, Donald Trump, getting extremely frustrated with Vladimir Putin and actually willing to do something about it. He has already stated on Truth Social that he has been able to be of service and benefit to Vladimir Putin in keeping the sanctions from going as far as they could. And now he's looking at that as being a possibility, and all the options are on the table. I'll tell you this real quickly. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told Congress last week that Russia wants something that it doesn't own, and Vladimir Putin wants to keep getting land for life and destroying all of that. And Ukraine wants to get something that it already has but has lost to Russia. So we're at a stalemate right now.
That stalemate, we'll see how long it goes on. I want to turn our attention, though, to the Middle East. Israel says that its goal, of course, we've heard repeatedly, is to completely defeat Hamas by seizing control of Gaza. Gentlemen, from what you've seen on the ground, from reporting and what we're hearing from analysts and officials, is the plan actually feasible, Chuck, or is this becoming a little bit of a long-term conflict with no clear end game?
Well, we are talking about the Middle East here. This isn't a TED Talk. So, I mean, you can't make a good deal with bad intentions. And if Iran's word could be trusted, we wouldn't be in this position in the first place. So any deal that is worth signing has to begin with reality. And the reality is that the three sides here, United States, Iran, and Israel, have almost mutually exclusive demands. And so there is no deal in the real world that would make everybody happy. And so the question is going to be, how much force is the West willing to bring to bear to try to get their way in this? And I think that remains to be seen.
Now, Germany following suit with the European Union and Canada, Kelly threatening to take action against Israel over the war with Hamas, calling the situation in Gaza there unbearable. How much longer, Kelly, can the Trump administration hang on as one of the few countries with really unwavering support of Israel?
Jen, that's a good question. A lot of it depends on Bibi Netanyahu, the leader of Israel, and the hardliners who are there. Going into Gaza and stripping Gaza of its humanitarian aid when people realize that they're seeing on their television sets and all over social media how many people are being killed at the hands of the IDF. That does not bode well for President Trump in trying to exercise a deal that will bring peace to the region, let alone what he told the Arab countries in trying to bring peace and stability to Gaza and Israel, and even any type of reintroduction of the Abraham Accord. So it really depends on what Israel and the hardliners decide to do. Will they listen to their own people and say, enough is enough, let's get the humanitarian aid and stop the war and the madness right now and get ourselves in a position of having peace?
Chuck, do you care to weigh in?
Well, you can either make Iran happy or you can make Israel happy. If you think you can do both, you're not negotiating, you're just hallucinating. And so really, it's going to come down to how unhappy are we willing to make Iran in order to try to get our way, as I said.
Okay, Kelly Wright and Chuck Holton, gentlemen, great to see you. Thank you so much. Well, as global tensions rise, American leaders are racing to modernize the nation's military edge with next-generation technology. The Pentagon is betting big on what's known as deep tech, high-risk, high-reward technologies that could shape the future of warfare.
That's right. One Virginia company located in what's now called Silicon Valley East is drawing serious attention. CBN national security correspondent Caitlin Burke takes us inside Rapid Flight.
Here in a small industrial park in downtown Manassas, Virginia, the future of defense is taking shape, quite literally. This is Rapid Flight, a young defense tech company manufacturing autonomous drones for military application.
What Rapid Flight is doing is really disrupting the way drones are designed and deployed to meet the new types of missions and customer requirements that are just emerging as we go.
Fast, modular, and built on demand, their systems line up with the Trump administration's call for a new era of American technological innovation.
For a future stamped with the American character, the federal government must become an early adopter and avid promoter of American technology.
Rapid Flight leverages 3D printing to go from blueprint to battlefield in a matter of days. CEO Asina Alich tells CBN News this could give America and its partners a powerful edge.
We deliver the mission-ready drones and interceptors that allies and the United States defense can afford and rely on. We have this modular capability and tech that let us really change our design real time based on any emerging threats and missions.
Brandon Smith, an engineer and Rapid Flight's VP of Strategy, says recent conflicts highlight the power of cheap and adaptable drones on an ever-changing battlefield.
We've had demonstrations in Ukraine with the MOD over there. We scheduled a demonstration, we got over there, we performed our first mission, and they said, that's nice, but we need this right now. And we changed the design on the fly and supported their need. And then they said, oh, that's nice, but we've changed again, we need this.
What are your drones designed to be able to do? What are they capable of?
You're going to hate this, everything. Our drones can do anything. We do rapid payload integration. So we have a common avionics system that allows us to plug and play or develop new drivers for any new technology, any new payload that our customers want to go in. So we're not designed for one specific payload, although individual aircraft have accommodations for different things like cameras and cutouts and antennas and things like that. Changing those payload configurations is the kind of thesis of Rapid Flight, being able to change that on the fly and adapt to user needs. So when you ask what do we do, it's basically whatever our customers want.
Their mobile production system also means drones can be mass-produced anytime, anywhere.
You take the printers we have in our lab here, you take the manufacturing tables, tools, people, know-how, you put all of that into a form factor that's shippable all over the world and deposits that in a place where it can run autonomously, depending on how long you supply it, for 30 to 60, 90 days. If they have stuff out in the field, they can come back to us and say, I want to put this radio in this airplane. We do a quick design change on our end, send them the files electronically, and all of a sudden you're up and printing the tool you need at the moment you need it.
Just as important as the tech, where it's made. The Manassas facility represents a growing push to reshore key defense capabilities, ensuring that critical systems are built on U.S. soil.
By making drones in the United States, we can basically respond faster to emerging requirements and threats, while also protecting our IP and not depending on foreign supply chains.
Rapid Flight is one of several emerging defense tech companies drawing serious attention and contracts from the Department of Defense. As global threats evolve, U.S. defense strategy seems clear. Think small, move fast, and invest big in next-generation capabilities made right here at home. Caitlin Burke, CBN News, Manassas, Virginia.
Thank you, Caitlin. Well, the president's big, beautiful bill squeaked through the House last week. How will it fare now in the Senate? We'll discuss after this.
Welcome back. What's known as President Trump's big, beautiful bill has now moved to the Senate, where it could face more challenges now that it's cleared the House.
CBN's Michelle London joins us live from Capitol Hill with a look at what could be facing the tax and spending package. London?
Well, senators aren't due back in Washington for a few days to begin their work on this bill after this massive package passed with only one vote to spare. House Speaker Mike Johnson is strongly encouraging his Republican Senate colleagues to think twice before adding any changes. Here's what he told Fox News Sunday.
Last time we had a spending cut was 3 decades ago, and it was only $800 billion. Even adjusted for inflation, this is the biggest spending cut, I think, in the history of government on planet Earth. Now, is it enough? Of course not. But we have a very delicate balance, and we have to start the process.
Start the process. Now, as it stands, the spending legislation would fund the administration's top priorities from defense, energy, and border security, and that includes the security wall, and also extend Trump's 2017 tax cuts, boosting child tax credits to $2,500. It would cover proposals the president campaigned on, like no taxes on tips or overtime. A part of this bill up for debate, though, is spending cuts of up to $1.4 trillion, which includes reforms to Medicaid and working requirements. At least 4 Republican senators, including Ron Johnson and Rand Paul, have expressed concerns about raising the debt ceiling. Take a listen.
So I've told them if they strip out the debt ceiling, I'll consider, even with the imperfections, voting for the rest of the bill. But I can't vote to raise the debt ceiling $5 trillion. There's got to be someone left in Washington who thinks debt is wrong and deficits are wrong and wants to go in the other direction.
Now, Speaker Johnson responded to Paul saying extending the debt ceiling is critical in order to pass this bill without crashing the economy. The ultimate goal here is to get this big, beautiful bill to the president's desk by July 4th. John, Jenna.
All right, Michelle London on Capitol Hill, thank you. In other news, a bill requiring Texas schools to post the 10 Commandments in classrooms is one step closer to becoming law. The State House passed the bill with one amendment requiring the state to defend against any legal challenges. Now it has to return to the Senate for final approval. Governor Greg Abbott is expected to sign the bill. A similar law in Louisiana has been challenged in federal court.
And before the break, some sad news to share. Phil Robertson, best known as the founder and patriarch of Duck Dynasty and the head of the Robertson family, died Sunday at 79. The family announcing the news on Facebook saying, quote, "We celebrate today that our father, husband, and grandfather, Phil Robertson, is now with the Lord." In recent months, the family revealed that he suffered from a blood disorder that's similar to a form of cancer. Phil Robertson often shared his testimony of God's redeeming grace in his life, inspiring fans to embrace the gospel and to be baptized. Well, next on Faith Nation, the young teen capturing the eye of the president in the hearts of law enforcement across the nation.
A young boy from Houston is capturing hearts across the country with a mission as bold as it is touching. His name is DJ Daniel, and despite facing a terminal illness, he's on a mission to become an honorary member of every law enforcement agency in America.
He's also inspiring people with his bravery and his faith. CBN's Tara Merchner brings us DJ's remarkable story.
DJ Daniel first made national headlines after President Trump recognized him during a speech to Congress in March. Here in St. Louis, this young cancer patient makes his mark again after being sworn into 203 law enforcement agencies at one time, a world record and a powerful show of unity, hope, and faith.
At just 13, DJ has done what no officer ever has. Rally law enforcement nationwide behind one mission: to become America's top cop.
If you don't wear that seatbelt, we're on your bumper.
The biggest battle he faces, though, can't be fought with a badge or even backup.
On my 13th brain surgery, he gave me my wings on my back, and he said, hold up, let me take these off for you, because you can't get these until you graduate the school of life.
DJ was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer at age 6.
You never know when God's gonna call you home.
In 2018, doctors gave him just 5 months to live.
He has a rare cancer. It's nasty, it's aggressive, there's no cure for it.
7 years later, DJ continues to defy the odds, helped largely by an experimental drug.
He's got cancer cells all over the place. This is where the original tumor was.
And what his dad says is DJ's mission to keep joining agencies that keeps him going.
Every day for him is a good day. As long as he opens his eyes, he's got another heartbeat and his feet touch the ground, and nothing that you ain't gonna be able to accomplish.
His mission is now in overdrive.
I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Since President Trump deputized him in front of lawmakers this spring, a flurry of interviews.
13-year-old
DJ Daniel.
DJ Daniel.
DJ, can you describe, what do you think about when you look back at that moment?
A role in a Secret Service recruitment video.
Sometimes being a hero means staying in the shadows.
And daily invitations to join ranks. Elon Musk even donated a Cybertruck to help him travel.
Well, I know that I made America great again. Usually that's Trump's job.
Then in St. Louis, a major milestone.
Kid just captured my heart, and I knew I wanted to do something. And initially, I was just going to send him some police swag.
Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Daniel.
Instead, Berkeley detective Steve Runge organized a massive ceremony.
I think the draw with DJ is love and hope.
To protect the innocent against deception.
Agencies from far and wide reaching out to help him achieve a world record and crush his goal of joining 1,000 departments. A powerful reminder of the heart behind the badge.
To come together for a very positive reason, for a fun reason, for a reason to honor such a young, courageous man is truly humbling for all of us.
Makes me think about the bad days that I think I'm having and how really not bad they actually are.
He's very strong for what he's going through.
As a law enforcement officer, I do solemnly swear.
Paying it forward, DJ surprised 9 other young cancer patients by making them honorary officers too.
I have a friend that is DJ. He's my person.
And then another unexpected moment of unity.
I'd like for you to paint in my son's page. If you could do that for me, I'd appreciate it.
Michael Brown Sr., whose son's 2014 death in nearby Ferguson became a flashpoint in a national debate on policing, accepted Theo's invitation to stand alongside police and badge DJ in his place.
See, this is what it's all about. We can all come together. I'm proud of you, brother.
As if being sworn in at more than 200 law enforcement agencies isn't enough, and being a special guest here at Busch Stadium, check this out.
DJ took the mound for the first ceremonial pitch.
How much has your faith been part of this journey?
It's been all of it. You know, the way his cancer works is he'll eventually not be able to walk.
And then you're going to continue to carry him to all of these places.
I'll carry him to the ceremonies, and if God decides to say, I need what belongs to me back, then I'll carry him home.
A childhood dream is now his testimony.
Stay blessed, believe in God, have faith.
And the belief that God is using DJ's time here on Earth for a bigger purpose. In St. Louis, Missouri, Tara Mergener, CBN News.
Bigger purpose indeed. Thank you, Tara. Still ahead, a cross-country tradition honoring our veterans. Next on Faith Nation.
Get the How to Believe for Healing collection, including a special exclusive teaching from Gordon Robertson.
For whatever reason, deep within my spirit, I prayed, Lord, how about now? Can I rely on you now?
Gordon's personal stories were honest, they were humble, they were incredibly dramatic.
I felt more hopeful about seeing healing within my own life.
When you read the names of God, you're literally talking about his very essence.
Take this opportunity that God is giving you through these teachings and learn about healing miracles.
The best part for me was when we realized that God chose us and he trusts us.
Receive your exclusive video, workbook, and special teaching when you become a CBN partner. Call or go online today.
Finally tonight, a cross-country motorcycle ride to honor our veterans.
It's a tradition started by Vietnam vets called Run for the Wall. Each May, motorcycle riders participate in a 10-day ride, also called a run, from coast to coast. The journey starts in Ontario, California, and ends at the Vietnam War Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C. Participants of all ages ride to honor veterans, their families, and to raise awareness of those still missing.
It was an amazing cross-country endeavor, even just as a passenger, to see the outpouring of patriotism across this nation.
Following the ride is a 3-day run from Washington, D.C. to the Middle East Conflicts Wall in Illinois. The motto, we ride for those who can't, and what a great way to honor those who are still missing but still in many people's hearts.
Yeah, and a nice way to end the show tonight.
Absolutely.
All right, that's going to do it for Faith Nation.
Have a great night.